Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Cool. So what needs to happen right now? What needs to happen is I need to make it possible to switch the material being used to shade this object in addition to the geometry. And I think that's broken right now, the basic material. So I need to fix that. I don't think it needs to be though. I think it's just the way that the geometry is set up has some sort of a problem. So to start that, I'm gonna try just switching out this Fong material for the basic material. Pretty sure this will crash right off the bat. Well, it didn't crash. Oh, it did crash. Because I'm passing in normals. Yeah, and that's happening when I render. Shader.py 74. All right. Okay, so this is where the attributes are compiled into the vertex array object, and here I'm passing in the attributes. And these attributes should only... I should only pass in the attributes that are required by the shader. And I have to do that knowing that the attributes saved into self.attributes or whatever. And this might be too many of them for the shader. So I'm gonna need a way to like filter them out. Maybe the way to do this is that when the mesh is instantiated, it should filter out the attributes here. Filter out the attributes that are necessary for the shader. Would that work? And then I guess it could update. And then it could update those if the attributes were ever switched. Or if the shader was ever switched, I guess. But I don't think you really switch the shader attributes on a mesh. That seems really weird. Maybe it's not that weird. Okay, right now I'm just going to try to do it here. So right here. I want to construct attributes for only those needed by the shader. And that should do what I want. Since it should filter out the normals here. I wonder if the place where I wonder if this could be done in the place where I instantiate the geometry. Here. I'm constructing attributes here as well. And I only want it to contain the normals if the normals were provided. So I think these two parts of the code are doing similar things. They're both constructing attributes based on a set number, well, an unknown number of attributes that may or may not be there. But I won't worry about trying to make these two do the same thing right now. Right now, I think I'll just focus on doing it here. So I'll want to do like shader attributes. That's going to be something like this. Actually, I'm going to move this into a separate function somewhere. You think that'd be simpler? Something like attributes from, or like filter attributes. Then it'll take unfiltered attributes and the list of attributes to keep. Pass that for now. How much work until the shader PR is polished? I don't think it's too much, actually. I think I could do it now, but the thing is, I already have all the code that I want. It's just you guys who don't have it. But I'm kidding. Kind of kidding. But I will work on that. Probably today. Okay, so I'm going to say shader attributes. It's going to be filter attributes. Self.attributes. Then I have to get a list of the attributes that the shader needs. Which I did something similar to that with the uniforms. In the renderer, I think. Uniform dot... Well, I guess it wasn't here. Where was that? I wasn't trying to do that. You think it's feasible that Manim embraces OpenGL fully and drops Cairo? Yeah, I think that in the near future. I think 2 releases from now, I think we definitely could. 1 release from now, maybe, if we pushed it. So this is what I was thinking of. So, take that line, go here. Here, I got to get a list of the attributes. Let's see if that prediction holds. What I think would be one way to do this like pretty well, we might have to just, like at some point, just do it. Actually, what might be a good plan is after the next release, like right after the next release, we replace the objects, at least the defaults, with OpenGL objects. And we just work with that for the month leading up to the next release. And like iron out the bugs just with the people who use it a lot. Then we could release it that way, then we could take it out. And I think that would make sense. Members, keys. I'll call this members and print that. And I guess there's no attribute to, oh wait, that makes sense. This should be attribute. It's have to be ready-ish by the end of this month. I mean, it's already ready-ish. Like in the upstream branch, it's already being used by default. So I don't think there's anything too bad preventing it. That keys. This is actually not enough. Wait, how did I do this in the render? Okay, I did something like this. KV in the items. If is instance attribute. Then this is an empty list. Then I can append the K. Okay, now I can print the shader attributes. And this should have, I think, only one. Mesh is not defined. Oh yeah, there's no mesh. This is just self. Okay, so that was good. It printed out only position. And I want to pass only the position. So when I filter this out, pass in the shader attributes. And I can close this, come up here. And the data type for this, I think I want to pass position no matter what. So I want to start with this data type. Okay, and then something like this. Like if normal is in the attributes, then I'm gonna want to append the normal data type here. Okay, then I have to do this for UVs and stuff too. For now, I'll just leave that. Then I'll say attributes, the length will I guess be unfiltered attributes. I'll just index position. I'll take the length of that. I guess size at 0. I think, or size indexed at 0. And do that. So I think that should work. I should at least crash in the same way that it crashed before. Nope, crashed in a different way. Int object is not a descriptor. Oh, this should be shape. So make this shape. Great. Now I get the crash from before. Okay, so I have it all with zeros. Then I can fill it in, I think the same way I did this. So fill in the positions. And then if the normal is there, then I'll fill in the normals. Attributes at normal will just be unfiltered attributes at normal. And it should be unfiltered at position. Cool. I feel like the song is too loud. Okay. So shader attributes, get the ones with the attributes, filter that, perfect. Now I'm gonna print the shader attributes. And I crash, of course. And I get none, so that's great. It would probably help to return the thing that I'm actually building. try that again. That looks good. Wait, future warning comparison. Or he's an error or perform. Wait, what? Future warning. Comparison? Well, don't know what that message said. Guess I have to run this. Actually, let me run this like this. Okay. Equals equals comparison failed in returning scalar instead. This will raise an error perform element wise comparison in the future. Shaded up by 44. So this, if normal in attributes. Oh, I overrode attributes here. It should be filtered. Yeah. I'll return the filtered ones. Okay. Okay, didn't get that warning this time. That's great. And now, I think I'm just gonna replace shader attributes. Replace self.attributes, I mean, with the shader attributes. And I think that's all I have to do. So here, and then here. The indices should be the same. Vertex buffer object. Yeah, okay. Let's see how that works. Great, and I got the basic material. That wasn't so bad. Now do I want to allow switching between those two? I think I do. It'd probably be explanatory or whatever. When I go to the material, you'll basic material, I'm just choosing this color, I guess, at random. RG. Wait, is this the color? Let me see that again. RGB, so mostly blue. I think this is the color. See if I can set the opacity of this. Let me quit this. Oh. Rerun it. I guess I can kind of set the opacity. It's doing something weird in the middle. There's probably some other flag that I need to set, something like that. But okay, not going to deal with that right now. I'll probably just never use this with opacity. Probably. So to make this selectable, I already have a geometry selection callback, so I need to do that with the material. And this one just updates that geometry name, and then that's it. The listener will replace or replace the mesh. Okay, so let me try just adding new material name. I'm going to do something very similar to that. Material. And it'll just be Fong material and basic material. The default will be the Fong. It's going to look really similar to the geometry. Going to have a material name. Now, when I'm listening for new mesh, if new geometry name is not none, then it does this replacement. I think I'm just going to have new material name here. And say this is not none, or this is not none. Okay. And material name here. Do the geometry, get material, I'm gonna pass material name. It's gonna get it, set this to none. Set this to none as well, I guess. Add the same updater, do the same stuff. Update lights. I think updating the lights will fail in the basic material. No, actually, I don't think it will. I think set uniform is guarded by a try catch. So I think that's fine. Can you do new non-local like this? New material name? I guess so. Now in get material, I'm going to try to update this. Name. I'm just going to do this same jankiness. Use the material stub. Use the name. I think. Yeah, whatever dot material. Then pb2 dot that material request. Then the material. Here I guess there's a class named Fong material. Here there's a class named basic material. But I don't know how I can instantiate that from a string. What did I do with the geometry? Oh, it's just material. Oh. Maybe I'll just have to do an if statement or something. I guess I could look in globals, but that'd be really weird. I'll just do like an if or whatever, if name. If it's this, then do this. If it's this, do that. Oh wait. This. It's this. Do that. I guess this needs the context. No, that's fine. Self should be able to read from the scene. There's a material response. then return the material. Should be else, just like raise an exception. Name. Great. I hope this still works. So I comment this. I'm gonna see if I broke anything. I think I did. Where do I use get geometry? So get geometry is called where? Oh, I have to call this first. Old mesh, sphere geometry. I'll put fog material here. Now, hopefully the first call... Okay, great. And it has the fog material. And it has the selector. Now, what the selector should do... material selection callback, go here. Update the new material name. So then I'll update this, that listener. If one of those is not none, it's going to get a new mesh. Okay, so maybe this should already work. No, something. Geometry service stub object has no attribute none. Okay, so I guess the name I'm passing is none somewhere. Let's see, new material name. This callback. Writing a name here. Listener should be passing it there. Then passing that to get material. What was the error? Line 24. Here. I don't get it. Geometry service stub has no attribute none. So he's passing none to get geometry. There's no other way. Here, geometry name, here, and replace mesh. Oh, one of them is none. That does make sense. Because one of them is none, the other one is just whatever it was. Okay. I guess I have to set this to like whatever the default is, sphere geometry. And this to fog material. I'm gonna need updated bits. So these are both false. This is gonna be if geometry updated or material. That's when it's going to replace new mesh with whatever. And when it does that, get geometry, geometry name, get material, material name, set both of these to false. Set that to false, that to false. And is that all? Metry updated material. Okay, and this has to update the name, then it has to set geometry updated.